Hi everyone, my name is Jeffon Stubbs, he, him, his. I am in my second year at UConn as a hall director, and this year I am blessed with the opportunity to work in Hilltop Apartments. So, a typical day for me as a hall director, I come in at 8:30, I usually clear my emails, catch up with anything that was sent after I left the previous day. One of the first things I typically do is check my duty logs to see what the RAs were doing the night before. So it's like reading your morning paper. So I get here, I type, I check the duty logs, I respond to any outstanding emails. As a point of professional development, something I've incorporated into my morning routine is catching up on news in higher education. So I know what's going on in the industry, what's going on in the field, to inform myself, and it really makes conversation when I have to meet with students. Other than that, we're doing one-on-ones with RAs, one-on-ones with my supervisor. I am doing other things professional development wise. I enjoy the novelty of each day because no 2 days are the same, and I embrace that with open arms. So, what is my relationship like with my supervisor? I love my supervisor. Her name is Hillary. She started about a month before I did in the summer of 2022. I appreciate Hillary because she lets us chart our own path. I think here at UConn, you get supervisors that want to see you grow as a person, not just a hall director. Because you can't be an effective hall director if your mental isn't good, if your social isn't good. So I really appreciate Hillary's investment in my growth and development as a human being. So how do I implement our RLM in my day-to-day? So with our pause model, I like to take a very impactful but informal approach to education, and I like to model for the RAs what I want them to model for their students. So typically what I do is I incorporate like thought-provoking things into my day-to-day conversations. A big thing or trend that we have here in Hilltop Apartments this year is like capitalism. How capitalism is affecting everything. So one would think like, oh my gosh, that's so boring, like the economy is boring, like money. But like we've made it this fun thing, and it makes me smile because it's like, that's what we want the RAs to do with their communities. We want them to be able to identify aspects of wellness, aspects of their academic success. So typically what I just try to do is just be what I want the RAs to be in their own communities. So how do I incorporate DEI and social justice into my practice? I think it starts with just talking to students to hear their experiences, to learn about their challenges, their successes, outside of being an advocate for those that share similar identities of mine, like being a Black man in America, like being an international student. I learn about different aspects of identity that I wasn't privy to before. I think I like to prioritize the lived experience of students by talking to them, processing what they're saying, asking active questions to make sure that I'm complimenting what I'm hearing, and that way I'm better able to inform my practice. So, what is it like living at UConn and living in Stores? I think it's very tranquil, it's very picturesque, it's very scenic. It is not the most urban place. We are in Stores, Connecticut, which is about 30 minutes away from your nearest metropolis. So it's a good getaway. I would describe it as that. Living on campus, all in all, is very manageable. It's really what you make it. I know for me, just based on my lifestyle choices, I spend a lot of time, driving to church, which is in another part of Connecticut. I enjoy the fact that I could kind of live incognito. So I could be a hall director when I need to be a hall director, but there's very much so the ability to have that very good, healthy separation. I could go back to my apartment and I could kind of be the individual I need to be after work. My favorite thing about UConn is the wealth of resources on so many different levels. Depending on your institution, depending on where you're coming from, your previous experience, you may have found yourself in a situation where you felt kind of high and dry, you felt out there, that you didn't have the tools that you needed to succeed or to persist in your role. But since my first day at UConn, I could confidently say that I've never lacked resources. I've never lacked support. I think that UConn is a place where it's just a free flow of support. You get a sense of, oh wow, people really want me to succeed, people really want me to grow, people really want me to do the programs, have the engagement, see the big ideas come into fruition. And I don't think you get that everywhere at every institution. So what advice would I give a new hall director coming to UConn? So sitting behind the camera is one of the newer hall directors who I kind of took under my wing as well. So shout out to Drew. So similar to what I told Drew and his cohort when they came in, because they came in a year after me, I encouraged them to just take it one day at a time, make the experience their own. I'm very careful not to impose my entire experience on somebody else, because my experience is unique to me and what I came here with, and my intersecting identities. But make the role your own. You were hired for a reason, you were brought here for a reason. You and what you're bringing to the table, what you're bringing to UConn is an asset. Understand how you benefit the entity of UConn. Take it one day at a time. I'm 2 years in and I'm still learning things every day, so don't rush. So, that was a day in my life. Thanks for joining me. I have a duty call, but I'll catch you later when you join the UConn team. Bye.